Hello everyone, my name is David Boucher and welcome to day 38 of my 6-month life transformation chronicle. It's the middle of the week, not too beautiful here in Houston, but hopefully the weather's much nicer where you are. You're making the most of it and you're being productive with both your work, your freelance projects, or your goals for 2018, whatever those might be. So I'll just jump into it today. There's not really that much going on in terms of day-to-day. I think this is still the slow period. Thankfully, per my video yesterday, I was able to find some things to do, but still just waiting to get started with this first client and hoping that everything I've done prior to this in the last 4 or 5 weeks are going to come back and do some positive things for me. And that's a good segue into something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and certainly something I've thought about for the last few years, and that's really what pushed me partly towards making this decision to put myself on this path. And that's the necessity of luck in entrepreneurship or just in business success generally. And my view on this is that people who become CEOs, who become rich and powerful, there's this feeling, and it's probably true, that money changes you. And my impression, and obviously this is academic because I'm not there yet, is that money changes you if you feel like you've come into it just through your own brilliance and hard work. Whereas if you accept how much luck and circumstance there is in that, I think it would keep a lot more people humble. And so here's where I'm coming from that. If you're watching these videos, it's likely you and I are on the same wavelength, and I have no doubt that you work very hard. I personally like to think I work very hard, and I've done everything under the sun to sort of get myself to my own version of the next level. So I've written books, written a book, I've written blogs, I've programmed, and all kinds of things. And yet I always felt like I was just sort of stuck and not really getting anywhere. And so that's led me to a saying that I usually tell people when we get on this topic, and that's that everyone that makes it works hard, but not everyone that works hard is going to make it. And that comes down to this whole issue of circumstance. It's, do you have the right partner? So Steve Jobs, Apple was Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. So do you have the right partner? Do you have a mentor who's willing to take you under their wing and show you the way? Do you get the right projects? Are you just in the right room as another key person and they get you your next opportunity? And the counter people are going to say is, well, luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. But to me, that's a little bit redundant because the opportunity has to come from circumstance. Now, you may be more or less prepared to face it, but if you could just create opportunities out of thin air, I think we'd have a lot more successful entrepreneurs than there are now, because you only hear about the successful ones. And so when I say that realization is what drove me to go down my own path and just say, you know what, this corporate stuff, this getting rich stuff, forget it. It's because I felt like no matter how hard I tried, I just didn't get those opportunities. And so was it worth it spending more and more time, more and more energy, and honestly wasting more and more of my life to force something that may never happen? Or is it better just to say, you know what, at least I can cover the hard work part. I need to meet just enough people to where I can get by, and at least I know I can deliver the hard work then. There's no searching for a big VC deal. There's no trying to get on TV and become TV famous or internet famous or whatever. I just need to just have what I can taken care of with just the hard work. And if getting up the corporate ladder does mean finding the right mentor, getting the right projects, then opportunity is going to happen to whoever it happens to, and that's just how it's going to be. And it's not so much defeatist. I think it's just realistic. And even with this whole endeavor that I'm on, there will be a need for some opportunity. I'm not going to say that just my hard work would carry me through. Otherwise, I think I'd have a full pipeline of clients. But I also think that my recognizing that it will always come down to having someone else to help me out, hopefully will make sure that my head never gets too big, no matter how successful this is, that I never overestimate my own competencies, which I think could get me in trouble. So takeaway is always just remember, whatever it is that you have in life is never entirely down to you. And if you do make it, I would definitely implore you to help pass that forward. So if I ever were to become very successful, or even exceed what my, I think, modest expectations are for this, I would certainly try and help others out, just as I hope you feel like I'm responsive and helpful to you now. So on that note, As always, I'll invite you to leave your questions and comments below, and I will check back with you for number 30. Yeah, so we're 38 today, so 39 tomorrow. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Talk to you soon.